villainy. It could mean insane levels of manipulation, deceiving an audience, cultivating a false image of yourself, making moves in the shadows. But what all villains have in common is that they are evil. In this video, we're gonna go over some of the most diabolical villains of 2024. And some of the guys on this list are outrageous. Let's start off with one of the craziest villains of 2024. This man, Nikocado Avocado. Bro had us in a genjutsu for almost 2 years. Basically, he was fooling everybody, acting like he was still overweight. Reposting his videos, the commentary channels were having a field day. And they were all talking about how bro was so fat and how bro was messing up his content and how bro's content sucked. And then all of a sudden, he releases a video. He drops the video 2 steps ahead. On some Aizen Sasuke energy, he reveals that he's been grinding for the past couple years and lost all his weight. Then proceeds to mock everyone and call them ants. Take a look at this clip.
People consuming anything that they're told to consume. So I am the villain because I've made myself one. And you will continue to consume these stories about me year after year after year, for as long as I tell the internet that I am the villain.
On the villainy scale, I'm giving this a complete 10 out of 10. This man was moving like Light Yagami and Ai Nakoji in the shadows. Had everything planned out, everything according to plan type video. Even had the most devious villain face on. This man proceeded to drop the weight and post TikToks about it. I'm not gonna lie, this man cooked everyone. Had everyone talking about him. Had a whole meme coming from him. And this video has almost 50 million views in 2 months. One of the craziest plot twists of 2024. Up next, we have one of the greatest manipulators in YouTube history. Of course, it's number 42 from Mr. Beast's video. In a video titled Ages 1 to 100 Decides Who Wins 250,000, we were introduced to number 42. This man had complete manipulation of everyone in the game. I'm not joking, he basically had everything planned out. Now, what made number 42 one of the biggest villains of the year is that he essentially weaponized another player. This was number 43. Essentially, every time they'd spin this wheel, it would land on someone, and that person had the option to vote someone out. But the thing about number 42 is that he didn't have this power. In fact, it was given to number 43. But this is where it gets crazy. So if you decide to vote someone out, you get to spin again, but that person goes home and doesn't win the 250k. So what ended up happening is that number 42 essentially told number 43 to vote out everyone. And no joke, this man was completely going haywire. Voting out kids, voting out people who wanted the money, voting out people who needed the money. Completely heartless. In fact, he even had something to say about the heart. This man dropped one of the craziest villain quotes of the year. Now is not the time to develop a heart.
You are a kind person, and you are kind enough to not eliminate me.
Oh wow. Save Gio! Save Gio! Save Gio!
Don't do it. Now's not the time to develop a heart, okay?
Okay. Gio, I admire you so much. You are literally the coolest 11-year-old I've ever seen. You've got tons of energy and spunk, and your future is super bright. But unfortunately, your time here is over. I'm so sorry.
I don't know who bro is, but this brother was moving like Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan. On Your Feet number 43 type video. Had so many people talking about him that he actually appeared in another Mr. Beast video. Now, if you see many stories, usually it doesn't end well for the villain. However, it looked like it was gonna end well for number 42, and everything was going well. The perfect opportunity came. Now, this guy had the opportunity to walk out with 250k. All that had to happen is that he had to be the only person to leave his cubicle box. And if he did this, he was gonna walk out with 250k. Everything was going well until the last second, when number 58, who was labeled as the good guy, walked out of his box and stopped number 42 from walking away with 250k.
Look around, you'll see that 42 was the only one to step out until 2 seconds remained. And someone all the way over there stepped out at the last second.
Oh my God!
Up next, we got one of the craziest Griffith Lale betrayal villains of 2024. Of course, we have the infamous Unk from Waves and Lather. This man pulled the most insane 180 in the history of hair TikTok. This man, I think, had 100 and something, 200 something days worth of trying to get his hairline back. Throughout all of this, he'd push his legendary, infamous strawberry hair mint growth oil, his own supplement to bring back hair growth.
Famous strawberry mint growth oil. You want to grab your strawberry mint growth oil, have to follow up with our notorious strawberry mint growth oil.
Tons of people bought this, by the way, and he said that it was bringing back his hairline. Every day he'd be making progression towards his hairline coming back. It was looking immaculate. Not gonna lie, he had me fooled. Then all of a sudden, out of the blue, he said day 1 preparing for a hair transplant.
It is day 1 prepping for my official hair transplant journey.
Goodness. The internet was in a frenzy. Everyone was talking about betrayal, backstabbing, comparing him to manipulators like Makima and Light Yagami. I mean, I've never been fooled this much in my whole life. And in fact, I actually made a TikTok video about this, and this guy blocked me. Now, in his defense, he does mention in his video that he said in episode 1 he would be preparing for a hair transplant in Turkey. And also, I think he had like a link on his page, although most people are arguing that this was actually pretty misleading. Now, I won't lie, I don't know about you guys, but I was under the impression that he wasn't gonna get a hair transplant, but that's just me though. Now, the video essentially depicts Unk shaving off all of his hair, just to reveal that he grew over his hairline and his hairline didn't actually improve. Also, this guy had beef with Yusuf. If you don't know who Yusuf is, he's basically a Twitch streamer. And essentially, he was trying to restore his hairline, so he bought the strawberry hair mint growth oil, only to find out that it doesn't work. Oh my goodness. Up next, what if I gave you the proposal that you could fight a 58-year-old man, no strings attached? I hope the majority of you would say no, because you'd be evil to accept that, right? Well, now let me tell you that this specific 58-year-old man looked like this a couple months ago. On top of that, I will give you $40 million just for the fight, and it's legal. Wanna know who decided to embark on this endeavor? Jake Paul. This villain, this absolute maniacal, crazy villain of a man fought this 58-year-old. Now, I have to say, love him or hate him, this man Jake Paul is an expert marketer, but the villainy doesn't end there. Mike Tyson actually runs into a couple issues with his body. I think it was like a blood clot or something. Maybe someone fact check me on that. Essentially leaving him looking like this. So they cancel the fight at the time and move it to a different date. Now, you think that this poor 58-year-old man wouldn't have it in him to continue this fight, but no. We got some insane money on the line right here. And this villain, Jake Paul, steps into the ring with this guy. On November 15th, Jake Paul fights this 58-year-old man. Now, most people are claiming that Mike Tyson had a chance to win this fight only if he was able to take out Jake Paul in either round 1 or round 2. So, you know, in round 1 or round 2, Jake Paul is pretty much weaving, doing whatever he wants, staying away from Mike Tyson, just trying not to get thunderclapped within like the first couple minutes. Jake Paul survives, and he's just sitting back, strolling, doing like some little like casual shots in the background. I don't even know how bro was able to do this, but they essentially elongate this fight to about 8 rounds. Mike Tyson is literally stumbling. He's stumbling the whole fight. People are theorizing that he actually has arthritis in his knees. Meanwhile, Jake Paul is beating the living life out of this man. I don't know how Jake Paul is doing this, but surprise, surprise, Jake Paul walks away with the dub. Not only this, but it was live streamed on Netflix. Except get this, the live stream didn't work. Wow, what an absolute banger we have here. In my personal experience, the live stream only crashed like 1 time. I heard it was way worse for other people. But yeah, essentially some people couldn't even watch the fight because it was blurring. Meanwhile, Jake Paul escaped with $40 million. Aizen level planning, Aina Koji level manipulation, Yuichi level spite. And that's how Jake Paul essentially robbed the boxing community for $40 million. Now, what if I told you someone was out there freeing alleged criminals? You would be like, yo, this person's a villain, right? Well, in the 5th month of this year, there was a man by the name of Jayoma. This guy would drop the most outrageous videos. Essentially what Jayoma would do is that he'd sit down with alleged crime doers and he'd be like, who's the best lawyer? And they'd be like, Jayoma. And then it would be like, yo, so what did they accuse you of? And they'd be like, yo, so it was like taking down 10 houses, like beating up all these people, like doing a hit and run, like robbing all these banks. And we're like, yo, this like, I know this is alleged, but this kind of looks crazy, I'm not even gonna lie. Essentially, this man started a whole TikTok meme because everyone was convinced this man was just freeing supervillains. People were essentially describing this man, Jayoma, as the most villainous lawyer to ever hit the streets. People started making videos showing all-time supervillains like Sukuna and Doflamingo hiring Jayoma as their lawyer. After watching all of these Jayoma videos, I mean, bro is exceptional at his job, but he just came off like a supervillain this year. So those have been the biggest villains of 2024. Let me know if you're thinking of any other villains villains that I missed. And yeah, I just want to say I absolutely appreciate you guys and thank you for sticking to the end of this video if you're here right now. If you did, comment a 1 in the comment section, those who know. But yeah, appreciate you guys. I want you to have a good one and see ya.